Hood movie review. Hood movie review. Hood movie review. Watch us on YouTube. Is this thing on?
I'm one of the fat boys. Which one? The fat one. This is Phat. This is Hood Movie Review. And today you got your host, of course, the bad guy himself. And to my right, we have Mr. Unbiased TK. And underneath me, we have the wise one, Sledge. Now, we are reviewing the movie Phat Beach today. And so, they about to shred this movie. So, so what are we giving the soundtrack out of 5? What are you rating the movie, or not the movie, but the soundtrack out of 5?
I give it half a star.
I mean, I didn't even know that they had a soundtrack.
Exactly.
I just say, yeah, I only remember the one song, and that's
You
what
on
my
mute,
man
TK.
was eating for real. And it was the. No, I'm not on mute. Oh, y'all can't hear me?
No, I can hear you.
You on mute. I can't hear him. You can hear him?
Yeah, I can hear him.
So I can hear y'all. I give it a half a star. I said, the only part I remember, the only song I remember was when he was eating that burger. He was happy as hell in the room, and they had the fat boys playing in the back talking about food.
Yeah. Yeah, that.
Or about to say, and then the other part that's like, girl, she was like, "You got some Luther? I'll do anything for Luther." It makes me go crazy if I hear Luther, and they ain't even play no Luther for
They
us.
didn't play no
They ain't even play.
Luther.
They didn't play shit. Like she was requesting a song on the movie, and they didn't give it to her. Like I don't know.
She said, I just love Luther.
I'll
Yeah.
do anything for him.
Sledge, what'd you give it? It was the TK gave it a 0.5. What did you give it out
I
of 5?
gave it a half a star.
Yeah, so you gave it half a star, so you gave it a 0.5. Well, can't hear Sledge. I don't know if he's saying anything, but
Sledge got
I'm
dark.
personally giving it. I'm giving it a 0.5. That music wasn't talking about nothing in this movie.
It wasn't.
It was talking about
They
nothing in this movie.
even had Coolio in the movie, and he ain't have a song on here, did he?
I don't think he did. And what killed me was he was the biggest part of the cover.
He was right. He was like, they made it seem like he was about to be a main part when they got to him, like showing him, and they showed him, doing a little.
They showed him 2 scenes.
Yeah, about to say 2 things: checking in the hotel and judges, and that was it.
Yep. Yep. But
I just always thought when they put it like I always thought when they put an artist or a rapper in the movie or something, you was gonna hear something by that person.
they usually do. They usually play music by them, but they didn't do that for this one. It was the Coolio. I can't remember Coolio having a song on there. I just remember him checking in the hotel, and then later on he was at the bikini contest.
He was at the bikini. Oh yeah, he only had like 2 scenes in that motherfucker.
Yeah, I was saying, yeah, he only had those 2 scedes.
That must have been the first Chris Brown.
That's crazy.
Like that was the first Chris. Like you remember how they did Chris Brown and Stump the Yard.
Yeah. So you hear TK?
I can hear TK now. I had to come out and leave and come back.
Okay. So we'll get to this movie. And no, wait. Actually, what did you rate the soundtrack? I gave it a 0.5. He gave it a 0.5. What'd you give it? That's a 0.5 as well.
We gonna go 0.5 across the board.
Yeah, 0.5.
All right, bet.
So the movie kicks off with Benny, played by Jermaine Huggy Hopkins. We've seen him in the movie Juice, playing Steel, and he was in the Wayans Brothers. I forget his
Bro,
name, Wayans Brothers.
real talk. The whole time, like I'm watching this, I just kept thinking, what was his name in the Wayans Brothers? I forgot his name in that shit.
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
In the Wayans Brothers, I couldn't think of his name. But
His
I
name was
forgot all
Dupree.
about Dupree. Yep. Sure
Yeah, you're right.
was.
You're right. I was thinking TC, and I was like, it's not TC. TC's the guy with the pink bread.
TC stand for Tacky Clothes.
Yeah. What's up? TC's the other guy. I was like, but I kept thinking TC. I was like, it's not him.
Yeah, I remember TC because that was Mr. Mosley.
But yeah, like I said, he's played by Jermaine Huggy Hopkins. He's daydreaming about women, burgers, and winning a race. Until his entire family gets in the bathroom and tells him to hurry up because he's been in the bathroom for an hour and a half. Benny's father, he forces him to get a job in fast food since he's like he ain't got his life together, and makes him take his sister's bike to work. And Benny's like, nah, I'm trying to get into poetry. I'm trying to, get the money to go to the poetry school, or whatever. He's like, only 10 people can get in, whatever. He's like, nah, you gonna work. You gonna work. I forget the name of the House of Hamburgers was what it's called. The House of
Right.
Hamburgers.
We couldn't get a better name.
It's a House of Hamburgers. So Benny's friend Darrell, played by Brian Hooks, we've seen him in I'm gonna say Soul Food, Soul Plane, and we've seen him in Three
3
Strikes.
Strikes.
And look, if I can find Three Strikes, we will
That
review
needs to
that
come
movie.
back.
I
Yeah.
want that movie so bad. I want to review that. But like I said, his friend Darrell, who's even worse off than he is, tries to get him to leave work to sell 10-cent sunglasses for $5 a piece. And go get some beach bitches is what he calls them. And it wasn't a bad plan. He's selling 10-cent sunglasses for $5. Okay, you got a little business plan there. Ain't nothing wrong with that. He said he want to go to the beach for it. And Benny ends up walking out the fast food job after daydreaming about getting females and getting this one specific female. And this is the point where I noticed that Sledge noticed it too. I don't know if you noticed it too, TK. He has a Jerry curl hairstyle. Then he's got a Caesar.
Yeah, he got the fade.
Yeah, I
Like,
know he had. Yeah, like.
no, I'm talking about a clean. Then there was one where the nigga had waves.
Yeah, his haircut kept changing.
I
So
didn't understand though how you said how he be daydreaming, right?
yeah.
How do you daydream about somebody you don't even know yet?
That was my problem. I was gonna say, because like it's one thing to be like, oh, this is I'm just dreaming about this little fake girl in my head, which realistically, if your mind can't make up a face. Anything you think up, you've seen this person before. So for
Right,
him, that's weird. The fact that he's dreaming about this girl he's never met before, and because later on when they see her, like spoiler. I mean, if you watch this, it's gonna be a spoiler alert anyway. We review the whole movie. The fact that he sees her later on, I thought it was another dream, and she's like, "Hot box, can I see your hot box?"
Yeah,
And then
your
he was
hot
like,
box.
"Yeah, can I see
You
your
got a
hot box?"
Bitch,
And
you
then
don't
he
give a
was
fuck
like,
all.
"Oh," and then all of a sudden he was being weird. I was like, "Oh, so this is real." I was like, "So this is real."
right.
I was like, "That's wild." Like he really like spoke into existence, I guess. But yeah, we gonna get into all that though. But that was just wild. The fact he can really,
That was just random, yeah.
the fact he thought of this random girl. So Darrell convinces Benny to take out his life savings of $60.
That was 300. It was 300.
I thought it was $60. He made
Nah,
he had $60 in his hand.
he said it was three. Oh yeah, I think it was 300 because he was like,
That's my life savings.
Yeah, he says it was life savings, but I could have sworn he had $60 in his hand when they pulled it out.
I know he said I got like $300, and he said how much you got? He said on me or in the bank.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. he said,
He said, I ain't got nothing on me.
Nothing.
He said, how much you got in the bank? He's like, I ain't got nothing in the bank.
Like,
I was like, I like that scene. So
I
like,
did.
so my fault. I thought it was $60. So you said 300 is what he had?
Yeah, he said that's what I got. He said how much you got in there? He said $300. He said that's my life savings.
Okay, so he takes $300 out, steals
And
his
why was
dad's
his
car.
pin so long?
You said, what's up?
Why was his pin code 6 numbers?
It's Fat Beach. That's all I can say. That it's Fat Beach. So, like I said, he convinces Benny to take out his life savings of $300, steals his dad's car, bring his boombox, and go to the beach to sell these sunglasses. So Darrell, like I
Bro,
said,
you can tell this nigga they're kids.
yeah, for sure. And Darrell doesn't have a plan. You can tell. He says, "Hey, we're gonna get these 2 foreign girls." So, my fault. Let me go back for a second. So we've already seen Darrell get like 3 different girls at this point. He's got like 3 different girls he's messing with. So he's him for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why people looking for Brian Hooks, but who am I to judge? That's what you like. That's what you like. So he's like, I'm gonna get these 2 foreign girls. Get these 2 foreign girls, and they're gonna go to L.A. He said they're gonna go to L.A. and not only get a motel room free, like they're gonna pay for it. We're gonna ditch them too. So that's his plan, and it works. Like, which is wild. Like that plan works. And along the way, they get pulled over because Darrell's like, I want to drive. And he's like, you better be driving fast. And sure enough, he does drive fast and get pulled over by the cops. Then they go to a strip club. This is probably my favorite scene of the movie because I was like, this is my favorite scene of the movie. So they go to the strip club and Darrell tells Benny to stop eating because every time we see Benny, he's eating at this point. Like Benny's a fat nigga, but every time we see him, he's like eating. And this point, like I said, he sees him eating, he calls him fat every time. So Darrell convinces him to give him some money. He's like, okay, I'll give you $3. He's like, $3? All right. so then he used the money to go to the stripper. And this stripper, she going to work. She got them big, like she got them big fake jugs.
Man.
Got them knockers.
Boy,
She got them knockers on them motherfuckers.
Yeah,
They said it was 95. About to say, so plastic surgery had to be, just starting in, because I don't think them was natural.
Oh no, they look fake.
Them motherfuckers look.
Yeah,
they were hers.
Silicone
City.
Yeah,
Silicone City.
No, but she was going crazy though. For a little bit, she dropped down there to split. She was doing all kind of stuff.
Hey,
and then,
I'd have gave her all $3 right there.
So he's got the money in his mouth. He's like, ah. And he did his thing. He goes like, ah. Like every time he see a girl,
he do that.
Every time he see a girl, he does that.
I hated that.
Yeah, it was nasty. It was nasty. So, like I said, he sees her. He's like, hey, he's doing that, and she's like, she's dancing. She's doing all kind of crazy moves. He ain't paying up though. He's like, hey. He was like me in there. Hey, he gave her $1. He's like, hey. So then, like I said, she dropped to the splits, and then this white dude that's next to him, I think he's got $1 in his mouth. The white dude got like a 20 in his mouth. So then she looks at so she goes towards the white dude, and then she takes one of her breasts and goes, pop, just slaps him with it. like get out of the way.
She slapped that nigga with her titty and took him, but she took the $1 though.
She took it. Punched him. So then she comes. So while this is going on, Benny sees a girl in the club in a schoolgirl outfit and thinks she's an actual schoolgirl. And she tells him, yeah, wow.
Wow. Hey, you go to school around here?
Yeah. So he thinks she's a schoolgirl. And he's over there throwing a little pity party. He's like, yeah, nobody likes me. And, I'm fat. And nobody wants to show me any attention. And she was like, oh, it's okay. I like you. And then she starts dancing on him. So now he's feeling himself. So then he don't realize, they're supposed to tell you things you want to hear. So then she was like, so what's that, 5 or 6 dances now? He said, let's shoot for 8.
Right.
So then she's danced on him, and Darrell comes in. He's like, hey, get up off my friend. He's like, bro, stop hating. He's like, bro, you got to pay for these dances. And he's like, bro, she's not like that, bro. She's going to school. She's doing something with her life. He's like, no, that's not what. No, she's a stripper. Like, stop this. And then the security comes up. He's like, we got a problem.
She said, it's cool. My shit's up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Sludge breaking up real bad.
Come on, get your ass on.
Okay, so then security comes by and he's like, hey, it's $200. He's like, what? So then they kick him out the club, and he's like, man, I only got 50 left. And he's like, nah, we got 20 left. I got some food. He was like, bro, come on. So he's like, bro. So then they get out, they get kicked out the strip club. Then the same white dude from earlier, he's talking mess to him, and Darrell gets pissed, and then he's like, hey, let's race these cars. Whatever. So they start racing, and then they get pulled over again for that. Then they go back to the motel again, and Darrell is trying to mess with the foreign girls that was there. And Benny tells him, like, nah, I don't want to do that. I want my first time to be special. And Darrell's like, man, if you don't chill out, and he pulls out a box full of weed. He's like, come on. So then they smoke, and Darrell's still being weird. Excuse me. And then while they're trying to figure out like which girl, he's like, which girl you want? Which girl you want? He's like, man, I ain't on that. So the 2 girls, if you notice, they're like, nah, you take the fat one. Nah, you take the fat one. Nah, you take the fat one. They over there arguing who's taking the fat one. And then the white dude, this is bold. The white dude just shows up in their room.
Really is.
Bold. He's like, hey, he's like, he's barges in. He's like, hey, I'm gonna get one of these girls. And he's like, man. So then he does it. Like, he does it. And then Benny sits out in the hallway. while they in there having fun. And Benny starts imagining that same girl that he's been imagining all movie. Imagine her
That he
again.
hasn't met yet.
Yeah, never met her. Just
Not
imagining
yet.
her. And Darrell goes out to see if Benny's okay. And Benny's like, man, this is my first time to be special. And he's like, you see them titties? She is special. So then Darrell's like, man, look. He's like, the white dude's about to crack. And Benny's like, man, if he can crack, I know I can crack. Like, no, don't get ahead of ourselves here, Benny.
Right.
Benny's like, I'm gonna use this poetry on her. I know it's gonna work. So then off screen, we see him run in there, and then we just hear a loud crash, and this dude's fell into the lamp, and he's like,
And he
"Oh,
broke the
Benny,
bed.
yeah, fell off the bed. He's like, Benny, you fell off the bed." And then they go to the next scene. So, so they end up going to the beach, and Benny has his boombox with him, and that girl he's been dreaming about is there, and she's like I said, she's like, "I like your hot box," and she's like, "I'm gonna listen to some Luther," and he's like, he freaks out and like slams the boombox into her chest, and then dips off. And then her two friends are there with her. The black girl laughs, and then like I don't know if this girl's white or light skinned, whatever she is. She's like, "Girl, you have to play him like that," and she's like, "Ha!" She's like laughing at him. She's like, let's find some men with money," and they all dip. So Coolio is hosting a bikini contest, and Darrell is having the time of his life there. And he's like, Benny's like, "Hey man, I'm in love," and he was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm in love." And then Darrell's like, he's like, all right, I hear you. And he's like, man, look at them cheeks. So he's going on, look at them cheeks. I'm trying to have a ride. Dude. And then he's getting mad. He's like, don't say that about those women. Huh? Don't say that. And then like he gets mad and he like storms off. Like I said, Benny was a simp, by the way. Like this point, I was like, Benny, this dude's tripping. So Darrell sees Benny's dream girl, not realizing that's the girl he's talking about. He shoots a shot. And the white dude come up slick too, like he come up real slick. Like the way Play did in House Party, like hey, he came up real slick. He came up just like that. And they both fail trying to get at her. And she's like, yeah, neither one of you two are my type. And then Darrell and the white dude, they argue about who's gonna get her, and they have a bet. The white dude's like, look, I'll put my $300 up against you. And Benny's like, shoot, I'll put my
A fucking boombox.
yeah. Darrell's like, I'll put the boombox up. He's like, all right, bet. Hey, like, the boombox is expensive, I guess. I don't know. So one of the dream girl's friends says, I see you trying to get at my girl. She's not your type. I am. And he's like, all right, shoot. So then, like,
Right,
And
it's the slutty
immediately gives him the
behavior.
cheeks.
yeah, immediately.
Like it's so random. I mean, hey,
Random. So this is the dark
you got
skin
it,
girl.
you got it.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, I'll give you some, whatever. And he's like, all right, bet. So then Benny, he's walking, chanting, sell sunglasses, buy food, get dream girl. And I'm like,
Right.
why is this nigga so fat? Buy food is crazy. So sell sunglasses, buy food, get dream girl. So then he sees a random dude like stealing the sunglasses out of the car. He's like, hey, get back here. And then they jump into their car and dip off. And in the car, Darrell's cracking to one friend, and Benny's like, get out the car, get out the car. And Darrell's like, nah. He's like, nah. He's like, he's being crazy. Nah. He's like, get out the car. So then he gets out, and she's like, yeah, that's the guy that gave us the boombox. He's like, what? He's like, wait a minute. So then he gets out, and Benny's heated at Darrell, and he's like, man, I can't believe you. Whatever. He's like, I can't believe you in there cracking that girl in that car. I can't believe you. Why don't you like these women? Why don't you love these women? So he's like being weird and storms off. And now he's on the beach feeling sorry for himself until that white light skinned girl, I don't know what she is, gives him the boombox back. She's like, hey, I'm sorry about my friend. And then he starts reciting poetry. And she's like, oh, I like that. And he's like, yeah, it's my poetry. And she's like showing him interest. And then he's like, Benny don't realize this. And he's like, oh no, I gotta get my dream girl. I gotta get my dream girl. She was like, yeah, she was like, Candace, everybody likes Candace. And he's like, yeah, I gotta get Candace. And then we find out the girl's name Denise. And she's like, yeah, everybody wants her. And he's like, I gotta go get her. And she's like, well, good luck there. And I don't know if her voice, I don't know what was up with her voice. It was like, it wasn't matching. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but she would say stuff and it was like a half second off whenever she said anything.
I was just looking at them titties.
But yeah, it was weird. So Benny starts daydreaming again about all these women on him, and he picks Candace out of all of them. He's like, no, I want her. Then he ends up waking up in the water with the boombox. He's like, no, my boombox. And he's like trying to like like shake the water off.
But
And he
how did he get to the beach? Like, I mean, how did he get to the water where, you know, the waves was coming? Like, because he wasn't even near it.
To be fair,
Not a,
he's probably moving around in his daydream because he be moving in his daydream. Like he be doing stuff. Cause like he be reaching out and he be walking around doing stuff. So he might have walked into that water and not realized it. Cause remember in the daydream I think he was a lifeguard in the daydream if I remember correctly. And then he had to be in the water.
and it's the beach though, so you know how the water it just be shooting. I mean, I don't know how far back he'd get or where he was sitting at, but
But
you
to be
know
fair,
how the
he was in the
water
water
can
though.
move.
He wasn't like cause before he was
He
nowhere
ended
near
up
the
in the
water.
water, but it's like that's what I'm saying. But you know, the water could have been out far, then it could have shot back, or how that beach water be doing and shit.
So like I said, he's heated now because of the water getting there. And the kid says, "Hey, Fatso, throw over the ball." He's like, "Give me the ball," and he just chuck it.
That was unnecessary.
Yeah,
That was
everybody. And thing is,
unnecessary.
everybody's calling him Fatso, you fat boy. Everybody calling him that, and he just gets mad. He just throw the ball. And this one random white dude goes, "Hey man, I like the way you throw that ball. A nice little serve you got there. You should join my volleyball team." He's like, "Nah," like I said, random. He's like, "Nah." He's like, "I'm good. I'm good. I'm gonna just go home." And Darrell at the same time sees his like I'm gonna call him the white nemesis. They never said his man's name, the white nemesis, and he's shooting his shot at Candace again. And he's like, "Yeah, you know, you need to join my volleyball team. You know, the winner gets 10K." And then it just happens to be 25. I think it was $25 to get in. And Darrell sees this happening and pretends the white dude's car is his, and he's like, "I want it towed." And black dude's like, "All right, whatever." He's like, "Yeah, come on, man, help me out, brother." He's like, I got you." So then he goes to tow it, and then Darrell tells the white dude, like, "Hey, you know, they towing your car." And Candace says something racist. I don't know if y'all heard it. She was like, "Oh, look, it's your shadow." I was like, "Golly!" Like she goes, "Oh, it's your
Nah, I
shadow."
didn't know.
Yeah, I heard it. I was like, "Wow!" And then he tries to shoot his shot, and she's like, "Nah, I'm good." And she gets up out of there. And now, even though Benny said no to volleyball to the white dude earlier, we see a montage of him beating people in volleyball. Like I said, he just told the man, "No, I'm good." And I would say we see him just beating people, and people just falling just falling left and right. And Darrell tells him, he's like, "Hey, you did a good job." And Benny's like, "Hey, I'm leaving. I'm going back to Bakersfield since the glasses got stolen." And then he's like, "I'm gonna tell Candace I love her." And then he's like, "I got a foolproof plan." And he's writing poetry. And he goes up to her with the note and drops on her and dips off. And she's like reading it. She's like, "Ew." And then after Denise is like, "Benny's is a nice guy." And she's like, "Darrell ain't." She's like, "Darrell ain't worth two dead fly smash, pretty much." She was like, "He's a scammer." And after what Benny told her, the black girl's like, "Yeah, and he's in a Mercedes." And then Candace is like, "Huh? Mercedes?" And then she's like, "Okay, let's see what he's talking about." So now she wants Darrell now. And now Darrell goes up to Benny. He's like, "Hey man, I'm in love, man. I gotta can I borrow your car?" He's like, "Nah, I'm leaving. He's like, "Come on, man, let me get the car." And he's like, "Nah, I don't know, man." He's like, "My plan worked. I gave her the poetry and ran away, leaving her wondering who this mysterious poet was." And he's like, she's gonna spend the rest of her life wondering who this mysterious poet was. And I was like, that's a terrible plan. Like, it's an
He
awful
said it
plan.
don't take much to please you, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
I was weak when he said, "Oh, okay, that's all you needed."
I was like, that's a terrible play. You gonna write the note, throw it on her, and then be like, "Yeah, she gonna want the rest of her life who I was." Like that was your plan the whole time. But okay,
I think that's
okay.
when he said. That's when Benny said. He said, "Drew, I think I'm addicted to pussy," and he was like, "You gotta get something to me." He said, "Like crack, you gotta get it first to be addicted."
He
I
was like,
was weak.
he said, "Coochie's like crack to me." He's like, "You got to try it first." You got to try it first. So he's like, "Come on, let me get the car." And Benny's like, "All right, you can get it, whatever." And what is going on? And them two foreign girls, they brought two random white dudes back to their
Hey, that
motel
was
with
one of the funniest parts too.
them. They brought them dudes, but it was like, okay. So then he comes to Benny. He's like, he know the drill. He's sitting in the hallway eating his food while he in there cracking. And then
Took the drink, the
yeah,
ketchup.
like yeah. So the white dude from earlier, the white nemesis, comes up and he's like, "Hey, you know, where's Darrell at?" And he's like, "I'm trying to get at that girl." He's like, "Yeah, he's talking to that one girl." He's like, "What?" And then he's like, "Yeah, we got a bet going." He's like, "He's supposed to bet the boombox." He's like, "Boombox? He ain't got nothing." He's like, "That's my boombox." So then he goes to confront Darrell. And he blow past Denise again. Denise is like, "Oh, she's trying to shoot a shot," and he's like, "Nah, get out my face." Whatever. And so he's mad about the boombox thing. He's like, "Yeah, how can you bet my boombox? And you don't love any of these women out here." So he got like say he keeps throwing us in the face, like, "Yeah, you don't love these women out here. How are you? You're a jerk." So then Benny, so he's getting mad about that, and then they find out that I think this is the part where the car gets towed. They left it in the handicap spot. And Benny finds out that it's Candace that he liked too, because he sees Candace on a date with him, and he gets mad at him for that too. He's like, how did you not know that I liked her? He was like, I didn't know that. He was like, you keep messing with these girls, you just don't know the ones I like. He got mad about that and stormed off. So throughout the movie, Benny's father is just driving around with the family with no food, no map, can't find the destination, and then end up in the same hotel as them, which is wild. And they kept calling us a motel when it's clearly a hotel. But yeah. And Darrell and Benny are in the room arguing about the car getting towed. Like I said, in the handicap spot. Benny's dad yells at Darrell with Benny hiding behind the door as he tells him, to keep it down. You gotta be more responsible, like my son is. And then Benny's like, you know what? I'm gonna tell my dad I'm here. He's like, no, no. So Darrell's like, no, like random. But then the white dude comes back laughing at them. He's like, he's like, you got your car towed. He was like, and Candace gonna be on my volleyball team. I'm gonna get laid. And then they get mad, and Darrell's like, man, we gotta join the volleyball tournament to get your dad's car out the impound. And he's like, nah, I'm not interested. And he was like, Candace gonna be there. He's like, all right. I'm like, okay, all right. So they get the two foreign girls from the now they got two more white dudes now, and they're like, nah, y'all gonna be in our volleyball team. And they're like, okay. So now there's a $25 buy-in, in which now they don't have the $25. And Darrell says, he's like, I'm fine, I shouldn't have to pay. I got $7 from change. And the white girl was like, nah, like you need more than that.
Right.
Like, she's like, nah. So then they see Denise, and Denise is being like super nice. She's like, yeah, I got what'd you say? She was like, I got $20 to give you guys if you guys still want to do that. I can join your team as well, because Candace and Tanya, they won't let me be on their team, so I'm cool with beating them. Just pay it back with dinner. And then Benny's like, okay. And Darrell's like, hey, that girl Denise like you. And Benny still don't realize it. He's like, nah. We just friends. So they end up doing good in the volleyball tournament. And Candace peeps this and then tells him, she's like, good luck. And then she's like, kisses him. And she's like, yeah, I just thought your poem was so romantic and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, then she gives him the kiss. And Benny's feeling himself now. He's like, shoot, okay. He's sitting there. And then he's like over there daydreaming. He's about to start daydreaming again. And then his family shows up. And he's like, oh, that's Benny. He's like, Benny. And the dad's like, Benny, what are you doing out here? So then he's still calling his son fat and stuff. He's like, you never believed in me. I'm somebody here. And then he's like, I'm gonna make a name for myself in this tournament and win it all. So then he's like, okay. And so they tearing Candace's team up until he hits the ball and it hits Candace dead in the chest. And Candace falls dramatically. And Benny runs to her rescue. And Candace tells him to throw the game so they can go on a nice walk together after the game. And it's like, okay. So
Right.
so then he's like, what happens if I win? She was like, if you win, I'll just go home lonely and crying. Darrell's like, let that bitch cry. So then his family's on the sidelines like, come on, Benny, you can do it, Benny. And then she was like, do you want to kiss? And he was like, yeah, I want to kiss. She was like, first, you have to lose. And then the crowd's like, Benny. That whole crowd's cheering Benny now. And then Denise on the side is like, she yells out, it's your world in French. And then Benny drops the girl immediately. He's like, huh? And she's like, it's your world. And then he's like, we're over, baby. And then they win. They end up winning the volleyball game. And and Candace throwing a tantrum. She was like, I can't believe him. And everybody runs out there and cheers for Benny. So we see now.
Nobody pick him up though.
Yeah, nobody picked him up. They was just around like,
nobody pick him up.
yeah, you did it. They could have picked him up.
He could have tried.
They could have tried to pick him up. They ain't do it though. So we see everything goes well for Benny. Benny gets Denise. Like he finally realizes he gets her. And then he gets respect from his family now. And he has the money to get into that poetry class he always want to get into. And gets all the food that he wants now. And they tell Darrell, what's the name? Denise and what's his name? And Benny, they tell Darrell, like, hey, Candace is waiting for you in the room. You just gotta keep the lights off. He's like, what? Okay. And then he gets there, it's the white dude that he's been beefing with. It's in there, and they both scream. And then the movie ends with Benny wanting to go with a ride. He's going to ride with Denise, and she's like, "What about Darrell?" He's like, "He can take the bus." And then the movie ends. I was
Why
just
was
like,
dude in their room though? Like that's random as hell.
"Well, to be fair, he been in there. He been there cracking the feet."
I mean, yeah, but it's like he was in there when they was in there. Now nobody in the room. They talking about some go back in the room, keep the lights off and all that. He in there sleep in my bed. That's random as fuck. Like,
I think he was in there waiting on Candace too. I think they told him that
oh, they
Candace was
probably
gonna
okay.
wait.
Yeah, I can see that they probably tried to set him up too. Like get in there, leave the lights off, whatever. He said, get some ice.
Yeah,
She like
get
ice.
some ice. He likes ice. He's like, you over there trying to tell me how these girls like. He's like, I see. You got your little one girl that you want to think you feel like you somebody.
Right. Got you a piece of crack. Now all of a sudden you know what you're doing.
He said, I'm addicted. He said, you got to try crack first. And I also noticed too, at this point, he was like, Mr. King. They called him Mr. Washington early in the movie. So that was just kind of wild. That's the one thing I noticed too. But like I said, the movie ends right there, like I said, with him telling him, like, yeah, he could take the bus. And the movie just ends, and we get like a little music video that I ended up turning off immediately. I was like, let me go ahead and turn this
Yeah.
off. I said, yeah, that's enough. So the way we do these movies, what is the most gangster scene in this movie?
I don't think you really get too many gangster scenes in here.
I got mine now.
You got one?
The fact that he came in that room like that, ready to crack something. Like that white dude came in that room ready.
Oh yeah, he walked straight. So what y'all having a little party and walked in and shit. Like damn.
I'm like, that's the most gangster thing in the movie to me. Cause that was bold. So I got to go with that one for me. Cause that was bold. Go right
Let
in
me
there.
think
Like
though. Yeah, but so I think when they showed Debo the one time, he was pushing who he thought he threw Darrell, didn't he? That's my
that was a
girl.
random feed. Won't you make like a magician and disappear and then toss him?
Yeah, about to say. I mean, that was a gangster scene, I guess. But like,
he picked him up.
just because he was big, like.
Excuse me. And what's the funniest scene in the movie?
The funniest scene would be, and he said, "I think I'm addicted."
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's probably the funniest scene. That
About to say, because he was like, "You gotta try it first, brother. Like, you can't just."
I thought we lost you, Sledge. What's the funniest scene to you? I know he about to.
Nah, yeah, I can't hear TK at all.
Oh, you can't hear him?
I can't
We
hear
can
him
have
at
a good
all.
old
So I'm like,
conversation.
I'm out of this. Nope, can't hear you. I can't hear you at all. The funniest scene in the movie, the funniest scene in the movie was probably
He was struggling. He said this movie ain't like that.
Hey, real talk though. Hey, Kenny.
maybe
Another
the
funny. Oh, I'll let Liz finish.
man, when he was when he was outside when he was
He was in the
outside the
hallway.
hotel, yeah, he was in the hallway and he was acting like he was grabbing the breast when he was daydreaming.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Like he literally said, because he's like, I want my first time to be special, but he kept having dreams about all these different women. He was trying to get them all.
Well, the whole time all this movie really showed me was all y'all niggas is horny, bro.
Yeah, but it was just, I don't know, it was weird because he acted like he wanted all these different girls, but then when the opportunity came, he would always be like, nah.
All them niggas was horny. Even the niggas when they was doing the what's that shit called? What is that shit called? The bikini contest?
Yeah.
When they was doing the bikini contest, all them niggas was around them girls like some fucking dogs, bro. I said, all y'all niggas in this movie is horny.
But Darrell was the
All y'all
horniest
niggas
one.
is
He was
horny
like, "I would
dogs.
like to bounce that up."
That's what I'm saying. I was like, bro, he got so mad at him though. Cause it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? We here to watch the bikini contest. You turned up, you acted a fool. That's one thing. But to be next to him and be like, how dare you look at her like that? It's like, bro, this is a bikini contest. Like, why are you like, why are you being
Nah, I
You know what
mean,
was the funniest part? The funniest part is when she slapped that nigga with the titty. That was
that was funny. Because he hit him hard too, and he was like, oh. And then
nah,
go ahead.
it was a part in the beginning though when he was in the shower doing a little daydreaming and shit. Did you notice they had a calendar in the shower?
Nah, I didn't even notice
Bro, it
that.
was like a calendar and it was a woman on the calendar right beside him, whatever. And it's like, bro, it's like why they got a calendar in the shower?
Yeah, they're playing with himself.
Right.
Now, what are we rating? What are we rating the? Because we always rate the woman. What are we rating Denise out of 5?
Oh, Denise?
bro, 3.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she can have it. She alright.
3.
I just didn't like the way her mouth was fixed. She'd be talking. She was like, Benny. I told you, her audio. I don't know what it was about her audio. Her audio was off every time she spoke.
The movie was off.
She's the woman that you're supposed to end up with that likes you.
I'll give you 3. I'll give you 3.
Like,
Candace.
I didn't like how dramatic she
Candace
was.
is probably like a 3.5.
Everything she
The
did
titties,
was
she's
extra.
a 4, but without the titties,
Yeah.
she's a 3.5.
He said she a 3.5.
Without the titties, she's a 3.5. I told you, the only thing that kept me watching was, I'm like, damn, you 90s girls, natural bodies. I ain't mad at those, bro.
Yeah. What do we think of
Except
Candace,
one
though?
stripper.
What do we think of Candace out of 5?
Favorite, 4 with the titties, 3.5 without,
I go with Sledge on that one. I mean,
It was cool. I didn't think anybody was bad in
she
this
was
movie.
cool. Like, she wasn't
Nah,
nobody
was bad.
like
It was
Drake.
all, you could tell they was like, hey, we shooting a movie. Any girls that want to be involved, come down to the shoot.
Yeah, there was like, to me, I think the dark skinned friend was the best one in the group. In my opinion,
was cute.
she was the best one in the
She
group.
was cute.
Out the group, I think Candace was the best one in the group. But
yeah. She was, like I said, she was cool. She was straight
the
to me.
dark skinned one didn't even like the dark skinned one just wanted, she's not your type. Who's your type? Me?
Me.
Like, yeah. So of course you
What
go
about the
ahead.
bitches that ain't speak English?
Why not? Like, I mean, you giving it to me. So I
He was
mean,
like, all right,
like, yeah, he didn't even. But you see, he ain't one.
The
He
ones
I
that
think
ain't
I'm
speak
in love.
English,
Then
they
he
was
fucked her
cool.
friend.
You said what, Sledge?
The ones that didn't speak English.
They were straight, but it was just like,
Hey, real talk, Kenny. I
we're
got
fishing?
you. The most hood scene for real was when the dude stole the sunglasses out the trunk when Darrell was in the car fucking. That was the most gangster
that's
scene because
wild.
he really
Dude, in the
didn't give a
car.
fuck. He was in the car, like, yeah, and he was like, get away. Like, bruh, we just got
Hey,
robbed.
I got a question. Whose car was that nigga driving in the beginning of the movie?
Oh,
What,
Darrell?
who?
Yeah, he's
Darrell.
probably driving no girl's car.
Yeah.
Because when he was in the drive, he was in the drive-through, whatever.
Yeah, I think it was her car.
Hey, about to say he
it
had
was the
some
girl's
good ones
car
though
he was
too,
driving. That nigga had back-to-back
was
bitches, though. I will say that.
Yeah, he was pulling me. I'm like, I don't understand why.
I will say,
Now,
bro,
the
had
funny
back-to-back
thing
bitches. I don't know how you doing it.
Yeah, because he was like, I lost her and found another one. I was like, okay, all right. Gay.
He was calling the wrong names in the beginning, too.
Yep, he
He
was.
said, now that's my pet name.
He was
for
like,
It's a different name, too. He was like,
I know you. He's like, your name Carol. He's like, your name Carol. He said, I know a Carol when I see you, or I know you look better than Carol.
No. That was the random girl that they
that
met.
was his game. He pulled
that was the
on.
random girl he met later on. The one in the beginning, he was like, Deja. He was like, my name's Dana. He was like, oh, this is the pet name I got for you. Like,
Gave you a longer name.
yeah. And then, who was the most redeemable person in the movie?
I mean, the dad? I don't know.
Yeah.
The dad.
Yeah.
The dad, real talk, because he ended up paying for his classes after he wanted him to be responsible and getting a job the whole time. Which I got a problem with his dad, though, because he kept calling him fat, lazy, all this shit, right? The whole movie, but then, like, I need you to work at the House of Hamburgers. Do you think that's going to help him? Like,
He was going over them that and they said that. I was like, I thought it was gonna be a different job where he's gonna be like doing some manual labor trying to work the fat off. Nah,
Yeah, give him a paper route or something.
That
But
nigga ain't
nah.
working no damn fat off.
he
The whole time he was
he had to
like,
work with food.
the whole time they like, well, watch your
Right.
diet, watch your diet. Hey, bro, it obviously y'all not really cheering him on, bro, because you did, y'all would have slapped all that food out of his hand. Y'all would have took bro more serious. Y'all ain't give a fuck about that little nigga's diet, bro. And y'all ain't give a fuck about that nigga's skincare because that nigga's skin is all fucked up in the movie. He was ashy as
Hey,
fuck.
he might have had alopecia or something. I don't know. He might have had
Man, that nigga.
eczema.
Then y'all niggas ain't give a fuck about that movie, bro. One scene the nigga had a Jerry curl. The other scene the nigga had a Caesar. The other scene the nigga had a taper with the waves. I said, but is this all happening at the same fucking time?
He had 3 different haircuts in a matter of 2 days.
And he was on the beach.
That's what really fucked his movie
Yeah, on the beach.
career up.
He was Fat Beach.
Fat Beach is what fucked his movie career up, bro.
I mean, to be fair, he's not a good actor. Like it ain't like, he's not like he's a good actor.
How you go from Sims? How you go from Sims to Benny?
To steal to this.
How you go from Sims, Steel? You had to take that Wayne's brothers job, bro.
That's his best role to me.
That Dupree.
That
Yeah,
nigga went
Dupree
from
is his best role.
And he was always
that
hungry
nigga went
then
from
too.
smoking crack
Yeah.
to robbing old man with what's his
Yeah.
name?
They found him he had a meth lab. He had like a whole meth lab in real life.
Who?
Oh yeah.
What's his
He was
name?
one of
Big dude?
Yeah, big dude. Yeah, he had a whole meth lab in real life. He was like, I think it was
really,
meth and coke, if I remember correctly.
yeah,
Damn.
he was selling that shit. Cause I mean,
He
you
was
ain't got
really
no work.
addicted to it.
He was addicted to it. he was just addicted. He was selling it.
All right.
Who?
Damn.
Oh, he wasn't addicted to it. He was still fat.
True.
Who was the real villain of this movie?
He was getting good.
The food himself.
The food? I think the real villain was himself to me. I feel
It's
like he messed up
himself.
every situation. Like not in the food. I mean, like just the women when he's trying to get a female, he would be weird every time. Like one girl, like when he had a chance with one girl, when old boy was like, "Hey, I forget." He said, "Carol, I thought you was." He's like, "I told you that was Carol. That was Caitlin, whatever her name was." And then old girl was like trying to see what's up with him. He was like, "Yeah, I'm on the fat boys." She's like, "Which one? The fat one?" He was like, "Nigga," and then she was just like, "All right, I'm gone." Like
I
he
You
mean,
don't
but
know
really.
he
no
just
fat boys. You don't know
he
no
ain't messed
fat
nothing
boys.
up
You could have
though. Like,
said
do you know the fat boy's name?
anybody. She would have went for it.
He should have said he was Biz
They was
Marquis
calling that
for
nigga
real.
Heavy
He'd
D,
have
by
got
the way,
off.
and I ain't like that.
But this is back when the Fat Boys was somebody, so they gonna know them names.
Yeah.
That's like
I mean,
that's
but
like
I
the
don't.
Migos.
Right, but I would just know them as the Migos
Somebody
if
used to
it
be
was
a fat boy.
like,
That
you know,
nigga
I
Benny,
ain't know
bro.
their names for the longest.
Then what was the one where you write girls poetry? That didn't work. Girl, she just throwing it at you. You so damn stupid.
Yeah,
You so damn stupid. You don't even realize she throwing it at you.
it was
But
just
you're not that horny though, because if you was really horny, you'd be like,
no, because he was in love. He was like, I wanna find a girl that's in love with
in
me.
love.
Yeah. He was like, I'm trying to find a girl that I could be like I'm in love with, and they like he was
On the
doing all
beach.
that. But then like I said, he was on the beach trying to look for her, and like I said, and like to be fair, you made this girl up in your head. I don't know how you happen to find her, but like
Right.
so you made her up in your head. So it was just like I don't know how like you were so obsessed with her. You're like, oh yeah, I'm in love with her. Like you still didn't. She ain't show you none of that love like in the beginning. You writing her poetry and everything. She don't know you. So that was
Who
like it was
directed
just
this
weird.
movie?
You said what?
Who directed this movie?
I don't know. Whoever it was, he need to not do it again.
This is his first and last.
Let me see who did it. Fat Beach. The director is Doug Ellen. White
How many
dude
other
too.
films that nigga?
Was a
Oh,
white dude too.
how many
Wow.
other films that nigga got?
Oof. Yeah, he got some bad movies in his
What?
repertoire. He got
What he got?
Bad Santa 2.
Ah,
Not the first one,
Bad
the
Santa 2
second
wasn't
one.
bad.
I didn't like Bad Santa 2. He did Grudge Match.
With Danny DeVito, with Robert De Niro.
Yeah. He did that one. and he did the Entourage TV show. Oh
So
no,
he started out shitty.
he did. He did the Entourage movie. My fault. Yeah,
So he started out shitty and worked his way up. Okay, that's crazy. You
he
use
said he worked
niggas to
with the
do it,
blacks.
but
Yeah, was he worked with the
yeah,
blacks?
yeah, that's crazy that you use niggas to do it. But hey,
Now the part y'all been waiting on, where we give it the actual rating, the whole movie. What are we giving this movie?
Oh man.
Five. What are we,
Mm.
what are we giving it out of 5? Woo. You know what? I'll start before y'all light it up.
I'm about to say, what do you give it?
I'll start. I'll give it. I'll give it a 1.5. I'll give it a 1.5. You know why? Because there's certain scenes I can go back and watch. It wasn't Hot Boys where I never I would never ever watch the movie ever again. It wasn't quite Hot Boys or The Grinch, but it was still bad. Like it was still bad. The story didn't make no kind of sense. Like I said, the fact that you're looking for this dream girl that you made up in your head and find up finding her and saying you're in love with her is wild. And passing up every chicken along the way because I got to be in love with her. You don't even know this woman. You like, hey, her right there. Like it's wild, and they got to be in love with me, and she was not.
I mean, look. I think he wanted he wanted to do it, whatever, but then he didn't because it's like even when bro said, "Hey, go in the room, keep the lights off, all this shit. She's ready, all this stuff." He's like, "I'm gonna read her some poetry first." So it's like that was that sweet side, but then if he didn't want it though, he wouldn't have went in there, right?
No, and that, bro, that's what I was thinking too, though. I was thinking that same thing. So it was weird because he was like,
Right,
"Nah, I want this," but then he would go, like, he would try to get it. He would try.
right. So that's what it is. So it's like I don't know. I think like he wanted somebody to like
That
him,
nigga
though.
wanted that
You
hamburger
know,
than more than he wanted coochie. That's the crazy part to me.
He really did. It was
he
the fact
did
that
though.
it was the it was the fact that he said, "Nah, I want her to love me for me," and he was like, "She was talking about you in there." Oh, she was.
right,
Oh,
right.
she
You know,
was.
yeah. So, and that's why I think Darrell was the real villain because he just fed him everything just to get it to go. You know, Darrell was the real villain. Like, come on, man, you got to do this, you got to do that, and all that. And it's like it's not him. I'm gonna
Darrell
give
was
it a
a
1.
good friend, but at the same time, he was a bad friend. Like,
He was no, I mean like real talk. He was a good friend though, but
How
it's
was he a
like
bad
I
friend? He
just
ain't put
think
that shit. He ain't make him do it, bro. You didn't have to quit your job. You didn't have to quit your
yeah,
job to go
he
get
was.
bitches. You could have waited until you got off.
yeah, but he was also bad because he was kind of like, "Hey, I got this boombox out. I'm gonna," like, you know what I'm saying? Like he was doing stuff
Right.
like
That's
that.
where he was bad because he was putting his friend
He
like,
was gonna win the bet. He was
we
gonna
got
fuck
some
on
money.
Can.
How much
He was
money
gonna
you
fuck on
got? I
Candace.
ain't
He
got
had a
no money.
BMW.
You know.
Yeah,
But I
that's
think he
what
was
like
a
stuff
good
like that. He
friend
was
though
a bad
still.
friend. He looked out for him, but at the same time, he didn't. Like I said, it's like,
Right. You know, like I'm gonna make a bet using your car. I'm gonna make a bet using your boombox. But if we win, it's helping us both out though. You know, like.
His dad, the real villain.
yeah, I was, yeah,
Yeah, I can see that.
yeah, I can see his dad being a real villain, but at the same time, he was also his own villain. But yeah, I get a movie 1.5.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna give it a 1.
What TK gave it? You know I can't
he
hear
gave it
him.
a 1. He gave it a 1.
Oh, I gave it a 0.
Oh man.
I don't even know why we doing
That's not
this.
the thing. Is look, that is I will say that is not the worst movie review on here. That's how I
Oh
feel.
no. It ain't the worst, but it's just like damn.
Like I think there was definitely we've definitely seen, like I said, Hot Boys is probably the worst movie we've seen on here, in my opinion.
Tiffany the sex doll.
I don't know.
But I
I
enjoyed Tiffany the
started
Sex Doll
watching
though.
The Grinch, and I mean, I started watching it and was like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
Like,
That was, I said that's number 2. That's the second worst to me.
What?
but I
What?
say, yeah,
The
that's,
Grinch,
Oh, and I ain't seen that. God is good.
the Grinch was pretty
I
bad.
seen like the first 15 to 20 minutes, because it was just everywhere.
It was, and that's what we talked about too on the show. We were like, this movie was all over the place.
Yeah.
Bro, this movie was all over the place. If for real, if this movie had not fuck, I could take the fucking hairdo scenes, but if this movie had, if it just stuck to the main, I want to get this girl, Like we didn't even get to really see a volleyball game. We just seen the nigga serving.
Yeah, that's all we saw, and we just saw people fall on the ground like, ugh. Like every
Maybe
play
if we
y'all
would have got
diving,
more,
every play.
if we got more context in the volleyball game, like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe if they were on the beach the whole movie or something, like, you know what I'm saying? Then maybe it probably would have been like a 2. But like, bro, this movie, it was just like, hey, let's hurry up and get this shit over with, bro.
That's what it felt like. I was gonna say they were on a budget. They said, "Look, we got 3 more days to be on
A
this beach."
budget?
They,
They didn't even. They could have spent more money, and
they,
they had more money. Them
they said
niggas
we
is
got
cheap.
3 days to be on this beach. Just hurry up.
Yeah, these niggas is Julius cheap.
They was like, they just kept just don't do this. You see people, all right, die. Now you die.
Did you see Did you see that pink volleyball net, bro?
We didn't see the ball ever go over the net. We just seen him smack like this. We saw him go like, we saw him hit like this, and we saw them diving with the ball, and barely missing the ball every time.
And then, oh bro, bro, my goodness.
Like I said, it wasn't worse, but that's why I can't give it a 0. We've definitely seen worse to me. Like
I give it a 1.
What did I give Tiffany the sex doll?
I think you gave that a 0. I think you did. I think I gave it a 2.5.
You ain't give that motherfucking movie a 2.5, nigga.
I think I could swear I did.
I gave it a 1 too.
I tell you, I enjoyed Tiffany the Sex doll. It was a funny.
Even the guest was embarrassed about that shit.
I enjoyed the movie. Is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We reviewed some bad movies on here, but I enjoyed that one. This one, and
I'm okay.
I wouldn't go back and watch this, but I'll go back and watch some scenes. I'll go back and watch some scenes for this. I would never go back and watch Hot Boys or The Grinch.
With reviewing bad movies, but at what point do we say, "Hey, let's write Tubi and get this shit off"? Because
it makes sense, but I mean, you gotta fill.
But I wouldn't want to take Phat Beach off for real.
Hey, let's write Tubi and get this shit off because this don't look bad for Tubi. This don't look good on Tubi's part.
I feel like this movie belongs on Tubi.
It does.
You said it belongs to Tubi.
It does.
I told you it's a Tubi original.
On Tubi. About to say, but I feel like there is some movies on Tubi where it's like, I don't want to review this. I don't want to see it. You know, stuff like that. Bro. You said that's all Bounce? I like Bounce, though.
It's just a bad movie. And you know what? It's just out of all the 90s movies we've done, this is probably the worst one.
Cowboys, that's 2000. Okay. It's
around 2000. It just made the cut. It just made the cut.
I'm trying to think, is this the worst 90s movie we reviewed?
No, this is the worst 90s movie we reviewed, bro.
It might be.
I'll tell you what, though, because I thought Who's the Man was pretty, everywhere. But I think that was still better than this one, low key. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
That was better. That was better.
Yeah,
what was better?
So it's like,
I can't hear him.
He said Who's the Man was better than this one.
Hell yeah!
But I thought that was all over the place.
At least Who's the Man? Who's the Man was more like, hey, we know what the fuck is about to happen. But at least it had a plot. This movie was all over the place. It's like a Dave Chappelle skit.
I don't know. I feel like let me see. I'm gonna go back and look real quick and scroll.
Bro, we have it, bro. Hot Boys is in 2000, Kenny. This is the worst 90s hood movie we ever did.
We seen
Phat Beach is so bad, nobody even puts it on the little one gotta go movie thing.
That is true.
They know what's going.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Poetic Justice is close.
No, get the fuck out of here.
Nah, you ain't doing that.
That movie was close.
Nah, hell nah.
Poetic Justice is very close.
Nah, not at all. Not to this. Not at all.
Because besides, yeah, that's right. Brush that weak ass fade. I'm good on this. I'm good on that movie.
Nah, he's like, cousin. Hey, look, I'll tell you what. He would have loved that. Going to a cookout about to say in the movie.
Every scene we saw him eating, it was ridiculous. I was like, bro.
Or talking about, if he wasn't eating, he was thinking about eating.
He said, I'm going to get the money so I can be able to get food. And then get the
he
girl.
What we going to do for lunch later? Like, damn, he got turned down by old girls. Like, what we going to do for lunch?
It really did. I was like, bro, your mind was only on food. Not even a female. You was talking about this dream girl, but he was like, I hate this food first.
Bro, what,
Right.
bro? That nigga was so happy he got that burger before before them girls came in, and the
Bro,
nigga
he smiled.
with the white dude.
He was, yeah, that takeout. Said, But yeah, I feel like we've seen. I feel like I don't know. I'm looking at the list. I think it's close. It's close with Poetic Justice. It's close.
Not even
Poetic
close.
Justice is not close. It had Tupac
That's
in it. I
crazy.
ain't trying. I ain't
Yes,
going
I
for
said
that
that's
shit.
not close at all.
If
I can't agree with you on that one.
you watch it,
if you
tell me
gonna
what
do
you
if you gonna do the two, like which one was worse? If it was a debate, it'll be between who's the man in this right now for what we've done bad. Because I wasn't on the Grinch. The Grinch would have had me sold number one for sure. But that's not a that's not a '90s movie though. So if we're going off the '90s movies,
Yeah, we're going 90s. It's between this and Poetic Justice. Like I said, if you count that,
hell no, bro.
who
What?
Oh,
which
Jason's
movie was
lyrics
worse?
was worse than Poetic Justice.
No, he said who's the man versus this movie.
Who's the man wasn't made to be good though.
But I'm saying if
Need to have just to put hip hop. It was just a
So
hip hop
okay, so
movie.
if you watch this, who's the man and Fat Beach?
A hip
Justice
hop
And,
out
movie.
of
It was
this.
and
good.
Poetic
It was.
Justice. And Poetic
You said what?
Justice.
Justice out of
And
it.
Poetic Justice. Who's the
Poetic Justice.
man was just. What was this movie made for?
Look, Poetic Justice was so bad, Blake Man looked like a masterpiece.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Blake Man looked like a
Blank Man
masterpiece
is a
compared to Poetic
master.
Justice.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Black Man is good though. So
It is good. It is.
Hey, hey, there's no Blank Man slander allowed.
I feel like I said, compared to this movie is heat. That movie was Goodfellas to me. That yeah, movie. That was compared to
So
that
this
was, yeah,
compared
I was
to
gonna say that was that. That was Shawshank Redemption compared to
Blank,
compared to Poetic Justice.
Blank Man was Dark Knight.
Yeah, compared to Poetic Justice. That's what that movie was to me. That was a
that's crazy.
10.
Y'all niggas is stupid.
But we are gonna end it here. TK is gonna pick the next movie. And by the way, if you like, say if you just seen the one movie we didn't just review it. I had messed up and I didn't schedule the movie Higher Learning, so it's gonna be out of place when you see Higher Learning and when we just reviewed before the Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Bitch. So the movie's gonna be out of place. You might hear me say like, hey, say something about Higher Learning. So it's swapped. But yeah. So like I said, TK's picking the next movie on Tubi. So look out for that one. We're gonna end it right here. My little final quote before we get up out of here. And
Final
that is
quote.
my final quote is bye bye, fat boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.